Welcome to the series Python from Zero. In this series, we're going to learn Python completely from scratch. And when I say scratch, I actually mean from scratch. So if you have never written a single line of code before, it is okay. We're going to start it from very beginning. The way we are going to learn is also going to be very simple. First, we will understand the concept. Then instead of just talking about it, we will open the code editor and actually use it. So the goal isn't just to watch the series. The goal is that at the end, you should able to open your computer, write a Python code, run it, and understand what you are doing. So let's start with what is programming. So programming simply means giving an instruction to a computer. That's it. A computer is extremely powerful. But there is one important thing that you need to understand. A computer doesn't naturally know what you want. So you have to tell it. Think about something that very simple. Imagine that you are asked to make a cup of tea. You already understand what that means, but the computer wouldn't able to understand that. So we have to give some specific instruction to the computer so that it could execute the process. So programming is basically a process of taking something you want to accomplish and breaking it down into instruction so that the computer can follow. So that's why this diagram is very important. So we start with the problem, okay? Then we decided the instruction we need to solve the problem. Those instructions together become our program, and the computer then executes the program and give us the result. So let's try this by opening the VS Code. So here I am in VS Code. So let's actually give the Python one instruction. So here I'm gonna write the file name, that is hello.py. So whenever we write the file name, and if it is a Python file, at the end we have to write .py. That means it's a Python. You can see there is a Python symbol at the front. So after creating this file is just gonna work for Python only. Whatever language we're gonna use, this file is only be able to understand the Python language. So let me write the first instruction, that is print hello world. Okay. So now let's run it. So to run this program, you have to go to this terminal and then click to the new terminal. And here you have to write Python hello.py. This means it's gonna execute the program. So let's press enter and you could see our output has been there. So what actually happened is that we gave the computer an instruction, the computer follow it and produce an output. We haven't built anything complicated yet, but this is the basic idea behind every program we're gonna write. So one more thing, what is a programming language? You might have this question. If a programming means giving instruction to the computer, how do you actually give those instructions? We use something called programming language. Programming language is a simple language that allow us to write the instruction in a structured way so that the computer can execute it. Just like human have a different language of communications, we have many different programming language for communicating with computers. Some of the examples are Python, C, C++, Java, JavaScript, and many others. Now, this language aren't just a different names for some things. They have different rules, different syntax, different strength, and they are commonly used for different kind of programs. For example, JavaScript is very common for web development, especially for making website. And Java is widely used for large scale for enterprise application. But in this series, we're going to focus on Python. The reason we are starting with Python is that it gives us a very nice balance. It's simple enough for a beginners to understand, but powerful enough to build a real world application. So what is Python? So let me answer this question directly. Python is a high level general purpose programming language. So now there are two terms here that you might sound complicated, high level and general purpose. Let me make it very simple. When we say Python is a high level language, that means the Python hides many complicated details happening inside the computer. We don't have to worry about that like manually managing every tiny details of the computer hardware just to write a simple code. Python just let focus on the problem that we are trying to solve. And when we say Python is general purpose, it simply means Python isn't designed for only one particular type of task. You can build website, you can work on data, you can create automation script, you can work with artificial intelligence and machine learning. You can even write a small script to make your everyday computer task easier. Another important thing about Python is readability. Python code is designed to be relatively easy to read. And that's very useful when you are learning programming because you don't want to spend all your time to understand the complicated syntax. So you can focus on understanding the logic. So let me take you to the VS Code. Here I'm gonna write more code that is print Python is powerful. Something error happened. Python is powerful. I have written this. So let me execute this again. And as you know how to execute it, you have to go to the terminal and you have to write Python hello.py. And after entering, you can see there are two output given. Why learn Python? Now you might be thinking there are many programming languages. Then why should I learn Python? The there isn't only one answer to that. The first reason is versatility. Python can be used for many different areas. You can start Python for one purpose and later use for the same languages for something different kind. The second reason of the Python is relatively easy to learn. The syntax is designed to be readable and makes the learning curves much smoother for beginners. But don't misunderstand easy to learn as not powerful. Those are two complete different things. Python is beginner friendly but also used for serious professional software. The third reason is ecosystem. An ecosystem basically means all the tools, library, frameworks, and resources that exist around the programming language. You don't have to build everything yourself. Someone may have already created the library that solve a problem you are trying to solve. You can use that library instead of write the code from zero. And finally, Python is widely used for technology industries. It's high on demand. That gave us many possible direction once you become comfortable with languages. So where is Python used in real world? The first major area is web development. Python has frameworks like Django and Flask that developers use to build websites, backend system, and API. If you don't know what's backend or an API yet, that's completely fine. We will get those complex concept later. For now, just understand Python can be used to build a part of applications that handle logic and data behind the scenes. The next major area is data science and artificial intelligence. Python heavily used to work with data sets, analyze information, build machine models, and develop AI systems. Then we have this automation and scripting. This is one of my favorite use of Python because I can save you a lot of time. Imagine you have to rename 500 files manually. You could you could sit there and rename one by one, or you could write a Python script that does repetitive work for you. That's automation. Python is also used for scientific computing. Researchers use Python for things like mathematical calculations, simulation, data analysis, and scientific research. So when we say Python is versatile, we really mean that Python can use in lot of different places. So I have came to the VS Code to show you one another instruction that can be used. As I told that Python is used for mathematical calculations, here I want to mean that by writing one code that is you don't need to understand the whole thing, but you can understand that it's gonna print 2 plus 3. That is a mathematical calculation. So as per the result, it should be 5, and yes, it is 5. Even something very simple is already Python is doing. Okay, so later we're gonna take this tiny building blocks and combine them into an actual program. Now let's learn some basic things that you're gonna see constantly in Python. So the first one is print. We have already used it, but let me make sure that you understand it actually. Print is a Python function that you can use to display something on the screen. Don't worry too much about the function right now. For the moment, think like function is a small tool that perform the particular job. Print is print is a tool that displays some things. Later in this course, we will learn how to create our own functions. For now, just remember print means to show something. If I write print, some things like this is a simple Python script, and then I'm gonna write it again. That is, let's learn Python programming together. So let's execute it, and you can see it's all displaying on this. That means it's working. So the next concept is comment. So comment are the nodes inside the code. They are written for human, not for Python. This is very important. Imagine that you are working on a big project 6 months from now. You look at your code and think, why did I write this code? A comment can help you remember. In a Python, you can create single line of comments by using a hashtag. So let me show you the use of comment. So to use the comment, you have to use hashtag. And let me take you. Imagine you are writing, "This is my name," and you can see this is written in a hashtag. That means the Python will not able to read this. And after that, print my if I read my name is John Doe or something else, my name is John. So after we execute this, Python have print my name is John, but it didn't print this hashtag. That means it is done just for the human to understand why we have written this code. For example, here I'm gonna write uh, this is a this is this is a math, mathematical operation. So we can write this comment so that the human could understand what is this code and why we have written this code. So the third concept is syntax. Syntax simply means a rule of writing code correctly. Think about English. If I randomly put word together, you might still understand what I am trying to say, but the sentence may not be grammatically correct. Programming language works in a similar way. Python accepts code to follow certain rules. If you break those rules, Python will give us an error. For example, the simple syntax to print something is to this. But what if I uh, delete this and I never write this? And you can see it is already showing me some error. That means it is not in Python syntax. It not going to run it. Let me show you that also. After running this program, you can see the syntax error is there and it is asking to close the bracket. So the Python can't understand the instruction properly. So it gives us the syntax error. And this brings us to the another important beginner concept that is error. You are going to see error constantly while programming. And that's normal. An error is not a Python telling that you are bad at programming. It's just telling you, hey, you have something wrong in this instruction. So our job is to read the error, understand what Python is complaining about, and fix it. So as you can see, it is asking close the bracket. So if we close this bracket and then we run this code, you can see it is printing I love coding in Python. There is one more small concept that I want you to understand before we move to the challenge. The Python is case sensitive. That sounds complicated, but it's actually very simple. It means Python treat uppercase and lowercase letter different. So for example, if you write small name and capital name, it is going to treat them differently. So let me show you few an example. So you don't need to understand it right now. We will do it. We will understand later in this series. So let me execute this. So you can see I have give one variable name as John and we have print that variable and the output is showing me the John. But what if I do this with a capital name that you can see it's already giving me an error. So still let me execute it and you can see there is a name error. For us human, name and name is same, but for the computer and for the Python, it's not same. It's automatically going to treat them differently. Okay, so this is your first challenge. So after this learning, you have to create a program and print the following line using multiple print function. So you have to print your name, your age, your college, and your hobby. So thank you to watch this episode and later on I will bring more topics related to the Python to this channel. So please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.